Okay, just want to throw in one more thing before I move on after this, the domestic violence type stuff I talked about. Um, the Eagles also play in Lincoln Financial Field. So interesting, it's Lincoln Financial Field. We've been talking about Abraham Lincoln and all the theater shootings and how they're kind of foreshadowing the possible assassination of Obama, just like they mirrored JFK's death to Abraham Lincoln's death. Tons of 34-43 around him. Anyway, the Eagles are also uh, established in 1933, pretty significant number. It's literally coded in every shooting or whatever in the news. Like almost every one of them, the number 33 is in there. There was also this article about the Pope blessing the 1980 team, the 1980 Philadelphia Eagles, and they actually went on to the Super Bowl. So in December 1980, Pope John Paul II blessed papal medals for Ron Jaworski and Joe Pisarcik, whatever. 1 month later, the Eagles were in the Super Bowl. And then they got a little picture of them here, blah, blah, blah. Just found that kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl. Who knows? I really feel like they're going to, it's something bigger than that. But just interesting that the Pope did that and then they went to the Super Bowl. But at that Super Bowl, they actually lost to the Raiders, which it was also the 61st NFL season, and 61 goes along with the Civil War. Obama was born in 61. 1861 was the Civil War. Tons of stuff with it. If you go back and watch previous videos or the video I'm going to post in the description that explains some numbers a little more. But interesting is the Oakland Raiders. You just had the Golden State Warriors who play in Oakland, who won 122 days after Valentine's Day. Golden State adds up to 122. San Francisco, they're in the San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco 122. Pope Francis 122. He's actually named after St. Francis of Assisi, and San Francisco got his name from St. Francis of Assisi as well. Just find that pretty interesting. But I want to move on to some crazy stuff because I really think that something in Philadelphia is definitely brewing or ahead. So, Sam Bradford was a Ram, and then he got traded to Philadelphia, and he got traded on March 10th, 2015. So just wanted to point this out. 2015. In the last video, I explained it a little more about the Christians and the Pope coming, and the Eagles all of a sudden got Sam Bradford, a huge Christian, and also Tim Tebow. I mean, everybody thinks he's the greatest Christian of all time in football, whatever. They make fun of him, whatever. But he also got picked up by the Eagles here, and it was on. And I'm just pulling it up just to prove what day it was. April 20th. So he signed a 1-year contract with the Eagles on April 20th. And the last time that he had played was with the Patriots, who actually signed him on 6-10, just like the Geno Smith, out 6 to 10 weeks. I talked about it in the previous video, all the 106 and whatnot. So interesting. That was the last time he played. But he actually didn't even play a regular season game. So the last time that he played a regular season game, he played for no other than the New York Jets. And I'm gonna come back and talk about this in a second. But I want to just show some numbers here. So Sam Bradford signed by the Eagles on 3/10/2015. Tebow signed by Eagles on 4/20/2015. And that is a span of 1 month and 10 days. So like 110. And 4/20, when Tebow was signed, is also the 110th day of the year. And 4/20 is on this. I can't even talk here. 4/20 is also Hitler's birthday, and he was born in 1889, and we've been talking about 89 a ton with the Queen. Even Richard Nixon, I didn't realize, but he resigned as president on 8/9 even. So, whatever. Let's go back to my little notepad here. So 1 month and 10 days, 110, and then Tebow, whatever, 110th day. When Tebow played for the Jets, then he was cut on 4/29/2013, and that's because they drafted Geno Smith, and Geno Smith, 110. And I just wanted to throw this in here. So I mean, there's all these 110s here, but Pope Francis became Pope on 3/13/2013. If you go to 8/11/2015, when these two news stories came out, it's 881 days. And then Tim Tebow was cut from the Jets on this day, and then to the day that they play the Jets is 881 days, and that is the 100. 881 is 152nd prime, 152nd day is 6/1. It's all about the domestic violence. But anyway, so I mean, 110 is a pretty scary kind of number. I mean, I'm not trying to scare anybody, whatever, but like 9/11 was surrounded by 110. Also, so Philadelphia is in Revelation, and the Pope is coming to Philadelphia. And I talked about the Michael Jordan thing, and the Philadelphia actually used to be the capital of Jordan, and it got destroyed by earthquakes and whatnot. But Philadelphia will be 333 years old this year on October 27th, and 11/29 then is the 333rd day of the year. And that is 33 days after Philadelphia is 333 years old. Hopefully that's not confusing. Just kind of reread that there. I think it'll make more sense to you. And the reason that I mentioned that, I had to put that in there because it's about Philadelphia 333, but these two stories came out on 8/11. And if you go from 8/11 to the 333rd day of the year, it's 110 days. So pretty interesting. I don't know if something's going to happen on this day or what, but definitely Philadelphia has just definitely been really foreshadowed. Seems like a lot of people have been looking at the West Coast and whatnot. I don't know. I just really feel like they're really putting it at the East Coast. So, but anyway, the World Trade Center, the buildings were 110 stories tall. They were proposed by David Rockefeller, approved by Nelson Rockefeller. Rockefeller adds up to 110. Osama bin Laden adds up to 110. Even the 110th prime number is 601, and that was on the Philadelphia train wreck, right? And it was going 106, and I've talked about the 10-6. I mean, how many times? And Columbine happened on the 110th day of the year. One of the shooters was even born on 9/11. And then, like the Green Day song, Wake Me Up When September Ends. If you add that up in Gematria and Pythagorean Gematria, 110. And I talked about Adolf Hitler being born on the 110th day, but Adolf Hitler even adds up to 110. And I put Ronald Reagan in here. Ronald Reagan is 110. And I still don't know the complete significance of it, but they replaced both the Bushes this year in NASCAR with Reagans. So I feel like Ronald Reagan has a part. There's something to do with it. He was born on February 6th, which is the 2/6. It's the same day that Queen Elizabeth became the queen in 1952. So I don't know if that is something to do with it or what. I'm still a little bit lost on that, but just wanted to put that in there. His name adds up to 110, and they did foreshadow it in NASCAR. So, and while I'm on the president thing, I'm just going to throw it out here. So JFK died what will be 52 years ago on 11/22. But LBJ, let's just look at him. LBJ, he was born on the 239th day of the year, and he died on 1/22. That I've talked about how they both go with the 52. So interesting. And then another thing, I know I've talked about this before. So I said Nixon resigned on 8/9. He actually got sick. Here he had a stroke. 19 years. What was it? 19 years, 8 months, and 9 days. So like 1989 even. After he resigned, and then he died 4 days later. But I found that interesting. But here, Gerald Ford died at the age of 93. It's just kind of a weird pattern here. So 93. Carter, he is 91 this year. Or he will be 91 on October 1st, so pretty soon. And then Reagan died at 93. So we got 93, will be 91, 93. George Bush is 91. So I don't know, it's just kind of a weird pattern. 93, 91, 93, 91. And then Clinton and Bush were both born in 46. And they're 44 days apart. George Bush is actually 44 days older. And then Barack Obama is the 44th president. And he's 44 years younger than JFK. Just kind of weird. Just wanted to point that out. Just some couple patterns I noticed. So anyway, back up to the 110s here. So all these 110s, so I mean, they definitely signify, destruction, it looks like. I mean, but Super Bowl 49 was played on February 1st, 2-1. And that is the 32nd day with 333 days left. That's another reason. I mean, a lot of stuff went back to Super Bowl 49. Super Bowl 49 had a lot of, or it was about 52 and 144. Prince Philip, and we had the Kill Phil. You had Philip Seymour Hoffman, who died at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. You had Philip Banks on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who died. Whatever. But Prince Philip was born in 1921, so like the 2-1. There's also the Agenda 21 people have been talking about, but he was born on 6/10. He's 61 years, 11 days older than Prince William, so I thought that was pretty interesting. 6/1/11. Elizabeth is 61, was born 61 days before Prince William, or their birthdays are 61 days apart. Also today at work, it just dawned on me. I'm 32. I will be 33, and at the end of November 10th this year. But Prince William is also he just turned 33, so that means he was 9 years old 23 years ago. So we've been talking about the 923. William was 9 years old 23 years ago until 6/21. So just found that pretty interesting. I really feel like, I don't know, and who knows, I gotta quit rambling here, and maybe I'll have time to show you. So 6/21/2015 to the 333rd day of the year, 161 days. So 61, 161. The 6/1/11. It's just craziness. There's a lot of that around there. So maybe they're foreshadowing Prince William becoming the new king. I know he's second in line or whatever after his dad, but I don't know. I feel like his dad's gonna die. But Eagles is 49 and 22. The word revelation, 49. Fractured jaw, 49. And then Geno Smith's backup, I'm not sure if this really is. Just one of the articles said that the backup was going to be Bryce Petty. Bryce Petty equals 49. So I guess, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's pretty interesting that 9/11 had all these 110s around it. Columbine, just a lot of significant events had the 110. So it definitely foreshadows Philadelphia as well. So, and these two stories were mixed together, and they play each other on that day. So it's just kind of weird. The Pope's going to both places. I'm going to show you what I was talking about with Prince William and Prince Charles. So Prince Charles is actually 33 years, 7 months, and 7 days older than Prince William. And then Prince William just turned 33. If he becomes king on 9/23 of this year, it'll be 272 days before William's birthday. And then I just wrote for myself as notes, I suspect Charles, if the Queen dies, Charles will die shortly after becoming king. 9/23 to 5/19 of 2016 is 239 days. And 5/19 then is 33 days before William's 34th birthday. It's also 333 days after his 33rd birthday because of the leap year. So that was just a little theory I had. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really want to make a video on it because it's just a theory, but just pretty interesting. Queen Elizabeth will tie Victoria on this day, and if you add 67 days to it, it takes you to Charles' 67th birthday this year. He also married his second wife on 4/9 of 2005, 7 years, 7 months, and 9 days after Diana's death. It was supposed to be on 4/8, but it was postponed due to Pope John Paul's funeral. Found that one interesting. But anyway, have a great night.